Young criminals are becoming more violent, and data shows they're handling, shooting, and killing with firearms at alarming rates.
In part 3 of our series, Juvenile Crime Crisis, investigative reporter Peter Fleischer shows us just how bad it has gotten and how a new grant could be a game changer.
Waverly Willis runs his own Cleveland barber shops. A self-made success today, his story starts in the streets.
The streets will adopt you, and they will take you in. They will show you love. They will show you teamwork. They will show you camaraderie. All of the things that you are possibly missing.
What that life gave Willis, it took back with interest.
It gets very complicated because a young mind is an impressionable mind.
From selling drugs and carrying a gun during his teenage years before ultimately losing everything to addiction and homelessness.
Kids do what they see. They follow their role models, and a role model can be a good or bad thing.
Nowadays, the only time Willis spends behind bars is as a volunteer in local juvenile detention centers, cutting hair and connecting with kids. There's a distinct difference he sees between their experience and his own.
These kids, they have access to like military weapons now, and it's quite scary. We can literally leave here right now, and I can point you down certain streets that you, me, or a teenage child can go get a weapon right now.
The data backs him up. Firearms are everywhere, and kids can find them. Aggravated murder by minors in Cuyahoga County has skyrocketed. Even simple gun possession and use of firearms among youth is on the rise. Juvenile justice officials insist they're not ignoring the threat.
When a young person is engaged in highly violent behavior, repeated violent behavior, we will reserve secure detention for those young people.
We have the highest risk, highest needs, and I would say hardest to reach kids in the state of Ohio.
Treating troubled teens is one thing, but officials say the problems start much earlier than that. By the time a minor is arrested, authorities often discover a tangled knot of trauma.
Right there, get down.
So those are kids that touch the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, kids that touch Children's Services, kids that touch the Department of Disabilities, their education.
Willis knows that pain.
Like I said, the kids that the news shows, it's not the kids that I see when I was going down to the juvenile detention center. It's just, you know, these kids got dealt a bad hand. These aren't bad kids, man. I'm telling you, they're not. I meet them.
Hope may be on the horizon. Cuyahoga County just received a federal grant to create wraparound care for at-risk kids.
To take a look at some of the gaps in our systems, to do some resource mapping, and to create a continuum of care as a diversion for kids away from the youth justice system.
Willis, who didn't identify his own trauma until adulthood, believes it's the right approach.
We have to provide the wraparound services and not continue to wait, because we've been waiting. They can do it, and it's not going to be easy. It's not. It wasn't easy, but it's definitely worth it, and that's what keeps me going.
Love and hope from someone who did it himself.
And that was Peter Fleischer reporting. There are so many ways to help children and teens in at-need communities. For links on ways that you can get involved in the battle against juvenile gun violence and crime, just click this story on our website, WKYC.com.
3 News investigators also learned today that the superintendent of the Cuyahoga County Juvenile Detention Center has resigned. Jason Lanzo will officially step down on March 14th. The county says it's, quote, disappointed by Lanzo's departure, but cites growth and improvement during his tenure. Assistant Superintendent Celeste Wainwright will serve as acting superintendent.